Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dylan Hamilton and welcome to C.A.R. Entertainment, guys. If you remember last year we did AS revision videos for biology, digital technology and business studies, but they were all in one big massive long video, and so we decided this year, if you've been following along with the biology stuff, that we're now going to do it as individual topics. So we're going to do it for business studies. We're going to start off here with AS1, AS2. We will not be covering AS2, unfortunately. We're only going to be covering the AS1 spec. That is basically just because we don't believe we have the time for it, because we're going to be doing all the A2 subject videos, and we're going to be doing A2, AS1 and AS2 biology, just because there was more demand for it. However, if there's enough demand for it, I might do the AS2 business studies as well. Just leave comments down below, subscribe, like videos, do all of that jazz. But we're going to start straight away here with the AS1 business studies. We're going to talk about external influences and market forces. Okay, so let's get straight into this. So external influences are divided into four categories. You have demand, which is a whole range of different influences arising from customer demand. You have inputs, which impact on the business through requirements, so land, labour and capital. These also are external influences. Then the government is an external influence, as a business can be affected by government policies. Some can significantly affect you. And then social factors, so if some people are sensitive to ethical issues or environmental considerations. Now, considerable business opportunities will be created, and the business will predict accurately how rising real incomes will affect them in a good position to exploit opportunities by using these external influences. So, competition. Now, competition is often of crucial importance in determining the level of demand for a product when choosing a range of competing products. So, a change in price is a very important external influence, for example, as if an extreme price war begins between, let's say, Apple and Microsoft, which it would never happen because Apple's always going to outprice Microsoft, then these two competing sellers will keep undercutting each other. This would never happen, but it's just an example. They keep undercutting each other, and therefore they'll set prices below their cost of production, so they're actually making a loss. But this will only happen temporarily, and that's just basically getting an influx of customers. So competition essentially just forces businesses to produce efficiently in order to survive. So competition is a very important external influence, along with pricing. So what is demand's influence then? So demand for all products taken together is known as aggregate demand, and a downturn in aggregate demand is often called a recession. So during this time, economic growth may be negative, meaning output will decline, and some products will be vulnerable to business cycle fluctuations. If you go over and watch our A2 stuff later on in the year, you'll actually know in A22 we do cover the recession and business cycles. So let's just get back to this. If your aggregate demand falls and your income falls, in some products people may feel they can do without, and they'll only buy the necessities like bread and milk. So now let's go supply and demand as influences. So supply is the more profit they can make, the bigger the incentive and the quantity businesses want to supply. So if they can make a large profit, they're going to supply a lot. And this is related to the price that they will charge. So if they charge a higher price, then the potential of profit is higher, so they'll supply more. But if the price falls, they'll reduce output and look around for other products which are more profitable. Now, demand is the quantity which consumers wish to buy and the price they will be charged. If the price is right, then they may become active potential buyers. A deal will only take place if the buyer and seller can settle on an acceptable price, known as the equilibrium price. This is where the selling price is equal to the price buyers wish to buy. A market which is either unsold stock or unsatisfied customers is said to be in disequilibrium. So, uses of supply and demand then. Well, how can these external influences be used? They can impact changes in supply and demand can be predicted. So these changes can be predicted. Different kinds of changes can be identified and classified according to causes, and a theory can be used to analyze relationships to determine prices and quantities. Now, the invention of a completely new product will lead to structural changes within the business and production facilities for products setting up and leading to both cost reductions and quality improvements. Let's talk about resources as an external influences. Resources will be constantly keep being reallocated from one use to another, and this takes place within a business as it diversifies its products, and it also will occur whenever a business either expands, a new one sets up, or one closes down. Land, labour and capital are made redundant, but then this becomes available to a new business setting up or expanding. That's where we get that from. So an economy will develop industrially, then they'll move the resources out of agriculture into manufacturing, and then later on into a process where the shift is towards tertiary, which is the services sector. So you can clearly see your different types of production, I believe it's called there, where you have your primary and agriculture, secondary manufacturing, and your tertiary then like services. So unemployment and exports. Now unemployment is invariably a feature of recession. You'll know this if you go watch our business cycles video. Accelerating inflation will occur, and this is the consequence of prolonged above average economic growth. Okay? This is whenever prices go skyrocketing. Times will be hard in the home market, and a business will look for foreign markets and to export because it's cheaper for them to run. Exporting businesses have to contend with the business cycle fluctuations in other countries as well, though, because it's going to differ for every economy. They need to be able to compensate for low demand in a country by selling in another country which is in a recovery phase. So, for example, in 2008, whenever the UK hit its recession, you might have went to Japan, for an example, which a lot of companies did. This decision to produce a new brand has to be reasonably confident it will make a profit to cover all costs of production, including capital costs, because of course moving into a foreign market, you need to produce this new brand. And there's no point in producing something which makes a continual loss, as the outcome will be a decrease in supply, and this decision depends greatly on the price at which the product can be sold, and also the consumer's decision depends on the price too. So price incredibly important in terms of exporting, and unemployment too. That's going to be our external influences video, guys. Thank you for watching. I've been Don from C.A.R. Entertainment. Hope you have enjoyed this and you've learned something about external influences on how businesses use them. Like I said, I've been Don from C.A.R. Entertainment, and I will see you next time.